Would you like to have some more wine?
No, I've got half a glass left, please.
Where's Ryan tonight? I'm surprised he's not here with you.
Ryan's on a business trip in Austin tonight. I guess I've been monopolizing a lot of his time lately.
I don't think he's complaining, Ginny. How are Ryan and Iris lately? What's going on? Ginny?
Well, I guess you'll hear about it sooner or later.
Hear about what?
Iris tried to get Ryan arrested for Alex Wheeler's murder. Iris talked to Detective Donovan yesterday afternoon and said she wanted Ryan arrested. Detective Donovan did some checking about it, and he said that there was no evidence to suggest that Alex was even murdered.
Has that woman gone crazy?
Well, it sounds like that to me.
Well, did she apologize to Ryan?
No. And she was furious at the detective for not arresting Ryan.
Why didn't you tell me this morning?
Because you and Iris are friends.
You, Ryan, and I, the three of us, Ginny, we're friends.
Well, Ryan will take care of it.
If Iris wants Ryan arrested, believe me, she means business. And that spells out real trouble for Ryan.
Ryan didn't kill Alex.
That's not the point, Ginny. She thinks that he did. You better tell Ryan to be very careful.
I'll tell him. And don't you get so excited, okay? Calm down. Just don't tell Ryan that we talked about this. I don't think he'd want to know.
Did you finish your breakfast, Mrs. Wheeler?
I wasn't hungry.
I don't know why I bother to cook anymore. No one eats except Lacey. Well, it's true. If you just make up with Mr. Wheeler, maybe you'd both get your appetites back. As it is, you guys hardly speak to each other even a word for a whole day.
I have nothing to say, Grant.
Maybe if you just sat down and had a little talk.
He's Alex's brother. You'd think he'd be interested in bringing his killer to justice.
Mr. Wheeler doesn't believe his brother was murdered. And he certainly doesn't believe that Ryan Connor murdered him.
He's wrong.
Mrs. Wheeler, you can't prove that. And the police are not even going to investigate that anymore because they think Mr. Wheeler died of natural causes. There's nothing you can do.
I can take Ryan Connor's power away from him.
I tried to commit suicide.
What? I had a bottle of sleeping pills and I just took them.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
I was ashamed.
Why?
Because I couldn't even do that right.
Well, why didn't you say something?
What would have been the use?
Well, for one thing, it would have gone a long way toward explaining the way you've been acting these past weeks.
You know the really ironic thing, Elliot? Didn't really solve anything. Just ended up hating myself even more. Hating Peter for saving me. He made me vomit the pills, and then he walked me around until he was certain that I was all right.
You must have been in so much pain.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, hi. How did your meeting with Vicky go?
It went very well.
Well, good. When do you start back to work?
She said I could start any time, but I think I'll wait a few days.
No, I suppose there's no rush. You certain you like the idea of working under your father?
That's the part I like most.
Well, I'm glad. I guess it feels wonderful not having that prison sentence hanging over your head.
I feel as if I've started all over again. As a matter of fact, it's almost as if life has given me a second chance.
I'm glad things have worked out the way they have. Look, Dennis, you mentioned something the other night, and I don't intend to keep harping on it, but, well, as you know, this has been a difficult time for Paige as well, and you said that you wanted to do something to help Paige. I hope you meant that.
I do mean that, Dad. I really do.
I know that you're planning to go ahead with the divorce, but I have to admit I kept hoping against hope that you and Paige could salvage some part of your marriage. I see now that that's impossible. But I hope the two of you can at least remain friends.
Well, I'm not sure that either one of us is ready for that right now. But I am willing to do what I can to help her.
Well, that's a start, at least.
You're aware that Paige refused any kind of settlement?
No. No, but I'm not surprised.
That makes it a little difficult. As far as helping her is concerned.
But not impossible.
No. I thought after I left here I'd go over to Mom's and see if I could work that out.
With Iris?
Yeah. I'm going to suggest to her that she rehire Paige as manager at the Top of the World Club.
You really think Iris will go for that, then?
She might give me a little hard time, but I think I can persuade her.
Well, good luck.
I'm also going to suggest to her that she allow Paige to move back into the suite over the restaurant.
Well, you're really expecting a great deal of Iris to make an offer like that. I think you're going to have to be more than persuasive.
Well, I intend to be.
What are you doing, Mrs. Wheeler?
I'm writing thank you notes to the people who sent flowers to the funeral home.
I thought Miss Linden was doing that.
Oh, Ashley's writing notes to the people I don't know personally.
I'm on my way to the market. Is there anything in particular you want me to pick up?
No, I can't think of anything.
How can you take Mr. Connor's power away from him?
What?
You said earlier you could take Mr. Connor's power away from him. How are you going to do that?
By installing someone else as president of World Oil.
Like who?
What's made you suddenly so interested in this matter?
Well, since you mentioned it, I can't get it out of my mind. So who would you get to replace Mr. Connor?
Justin Marshall, or someone equally capable.
You already tried that, and it didn't work. You asked Dennis to give you his proxy so you could vote Mr. Connor out, and he refused.
I'll find another way.
You better be careful, Mrs. Wheeler.
What do you mean?
Whenever you go after someone, you always get in a lot of trouble.
I'm not going after Ryan. It's simply a matter of justice. Ryan is responsible for Alex's death, and he should be made to pay for it. If the law won't do anything about it, I will.
You don't know much about the company, do you?
No, but I intend to learn. One thing I must do is make friends with the members of the board of directors. I'll need their support.
How do you plan to do that?
A few quiet dinners, perhaps a lunch or two. I'll be able to find out how everyone feels about Ryan.
It doesn't sound simple.
No, it won't be, but it's necessary.
Hiya, Dennis.